Hello, huge movie fanatic Nate, stopping on by. This time I'm coming at you to do a little overview, or basically just a general look at the recently released, I think it came out in February of this year, 2018, recently released Blu-ray 8 movie collection, Blu-ray collection of Friday the 13th. The first 8 films, and basically, released by Paramount. They had, put the rights over to Warner Brothers briefly, and then they released the original complete collection set on Blu-ray. Now the rights have reverted back to Paramount, so they released their first 8 films in a collection that I was intending to get this for a while, but I didn't really want to pay $25 for it, and just so happened I was at Best Buy a couple days ago and they had it on sale for $20. I'm like, oh yeah, so I splurged at that point. I mean, I intended to get it at some point or another, that way I'd have duplicates of 4 through 8, just in case anything happened or whatever. But I really like the idea of this collection, because in my mind, I mean, even though I generally consider Friday the 13th 1 through 7 to be the ones I generally watch most, I mean, I kind of consider Friday the 13th 1 through 8 to be like the true Friday the 13th movies, and anything after that is kind of just, I don't know, you can take it or leave it or whatever. So this collection is really kind of cool in that regard. It's the Paramount, the first 8 Paramount movies starting in the year 1980 and ending at, the year 1989, so it's really cool in that regard. Obviously, first off the bat, I'm not a huge fan of the cover art. Obviously Paramount has to go and screw everything up, so they go and put the, I don't know what the hell they got here, it's like the Part 3 mask and part, the New Beginning mask with, instead of blue chevrons, it's red chevrons. I mean, this, in my opinion, obviously this artwork is complete crap, but whatever. Here's the back, and this is actually, I don't know if it comes this way for everyone, but this one's got a slip case, so it's obviously the same. Once you take the slip case off, it's the same artwork underneath, unfortunately, and whatever. It's really not about the artwork at the end of the day anyway. But when this was coming out, or after it had just come out, a lot of people were asking, and in forums or in other videos and stuff like that, trying to figure out if, obviously, what the deal was, if this was just a complete copy of the first 8 films of the Warner Brother collection, the Blu-ray collection. And a lot of people were saying it's just, the first 8 films are an exact copy of what came out, the first 8, first 8 movies of the, complete collection of the Warner Brothers Blu-ray release. Well, that's not, having, bought this and looked at this set myself, I can say that that's not the case. Actually, if memory serves, the first, well, first I'll just say this, that from what I can tell, the first 3 discs, because back in 2000, whatever it was, I think it might have been 2009, Paramount did put on Blu-ray, Friday the 13th 1, 2, and 3 on separate releases. So basically, from what I can tell, the first 3 movies in this collection are Paramount's first 3 Blu-rays from their original first 3 releases, because you have the option, just like you did on those individual first 3 releases, for original mono audio, which is of course something that I prefer, being a purist. And if I can watch original mono, I'd definitely rather do that than the newly redone 5.1. So, contrary to what a lot of people were saying on forums and stuff about this being just, a copy of what Warner Brothers put out, and if memory serves, I think when Warner Brothers put out their complete collection on Blu-ray, the first 3 films included only, the 5.1 audio, and I don't think it had the option on the first 3 films for the original mono audio. So for you purists out there, you can rejoice, because this collection actually includes the first 3 films do have original mono audio option, which is really cool, because even after I got the complete collection on on the Warner Brothers Blu-ray, I'd still use the individual releases of 1, 2, and 3. I'd watch those because I could watch them with original mono. And then of course when I got to Final Chapter and beyond, I would switch to the discs included in the Warner Brothers release Blu-ray box set. So now this is really cool. I mean, obviously I'll still keep the original, the individual disc releases of the on Blu-ray of 1, 2, and 3, but now I can actually, basically, whenever I want to watch any of these movies, 1 through 8, I can just pick this up because the first 3 discs, or the first 3 movies, well, they're each disc as well. So the first 3 discs are the same release that were in the, as I probably said a bazillion times already, but it's the same discs that were in the individual releases of 1 through 3 on Blu-ray. So that's really cool to note. And I'll show a picture of the back here. This is really, really, really small, but you have got a plethora. I mean, you've basically got all of the special features, from what I can tell, that came on the back when they, I don't know if it was 2008 or 2009, but they released special editions of all 8 movies on DVD. I think that might have been 2008, I can't remember, but they put special editions out of all the first 8 movies, and they included, all kinds of supplements and stuff like that. And from what I can tell, this Blu-ray collection, contains all of those special features, special features on every single movie. The only 2 that doesn't have commentary are 2 and 3, and what's unfortunate is, they did record a commentary for part 3, and I think the only way you can hear that, and I've got it, is the first original DVD collection that Paramount put out. I can't remember when they put that out, but I subsequently got it previously viewed after the fact, and that's got a really cool commentary by the girl who played, it's the girl who played Chris in part 3, and Rick, and Shelley, who's Larry Zerner, and it's also got Jason himself on there, Richard Brooker, and I want to say, well, it's got those 4 people at least. I don't know if there's a moderator or not, but that's actually a really cool commentary, and for the life of me, I've got no idea why they couldn't have put that on this, or it's probably not on the special edition DVD or the standalone Blu-ray that came out. From what I know, this Part 3 commentary is only available on the original, the very first Paramount DVD collection that they put out. But aside from that, I think this has pretty much got all the other special features that have ever possibly been done, or at least the ones that were on the special edition DVDs that they put out in 2008 or whenever. So I mean, I got it obviously for $20, for 20. I mean, even for 25, if you don't have these movies on Blu-ray yet, or if you've just got the first 3 or something like that, I mean, this is, even at $25, it's a steal. And I just, just to make sure, I watched the first 3 movies recently, and I put in Final Chapter. I had my fingers crossed, like, oh man, let's hope they accidentally, slipped the original mono on the Final Chapter disc. Alas, it doesn't look like that's the case. And what I did notice when I, put in the Final Chapter disc is it looks like it's an exact copy of the Warner Brothers disc that was in the, the original complete collection. Even down to the menu. I mean, they didn't even make, Paramount didn't even make their own kind of menu. So it's probably fair to say that, the movies 4 and up are probably exact copies, even down to the menus and everything, of the Blu-rays that were in the original complete collection Blu-ray released by Warner Brothers. So, but up until then, like I say, I mean, 1 through 3 is the original Paramount discs with the Paramount menus, and it's got that cool, for part 3 anyway, I don't know if it's maybe this way for all the first 3 of them, where, well, part 3 anyway, because I watched that last night, where it's got the machete that like slides across the bottom of the screen on the menu and stuff. And yes, part 3 does have the option, just like the DVD release, special edition, and the Blu-ray release, does have the option to watch it in anaglyph 3D as well as 2D. Unfortunately, as people have already commented in forums and stuff, this particular release does not come with 3D glasses. Of course, they're very easy to come by, and usually people who are interested in anaglyph 3D already probably have, a pair or a couple pairs or a bunch of pairs laying around, so that's really not that big a deal. But this is really exciting, and like I say, finally to be able to have like a collection all in one spot where I can watch all the movies from one spot, instead of having to like have a 4 and up collection and then having to dig out the original releases of 1, 2, and 3 to watch those first 3 movies in original mono. So I guess that's pretty much does it for my, in closing, what I'll just show pictures of how they lay out the discs. The first movie is on the inside of the case here, then you've got part 2, You flip it over, part 3 in 3D, and the glorious, final chapter with the Paramount Blu-ray. And then just like the Warner Brothers Blu-ray release, you've got part 5 and 6 on one disc, and then 7 and 8 on another disc. But absolutely, really actually kind of excited about this release, and especially getting it for 20 bucks. It's going to be my go-to, whatever collection to watch these movies for, the time being. Like I say, the artwork, leaves a lot to be desired. The funny thing is about the artwork is I don't like the artwork, but kind of if you just look at it, from the corner of your eye, or, I do like the colors of the artwork if you just don't look at it directly. I would recommend not looking at this artwork directly and just looking at it from the corner of your eye, and then it's kind of better. This hockey mask, again, it's the frickin' Roy mask with the incorrect colors up there. Is just like, oh man. But like I say, I like the overall kind of the red, even on the spine, the red background that the artwork has. So that's my overview, or a little bit of a look at the most recently released Blu-ray collection of the first 8 Friday the 13th films on Paramount Blu-ray. I mean, I got to tell you, it's nice to have them actually put out on Paramount Home Video, because when Warner Brothers put it out, for me it was just like, oh man, they're Paramount movies, and it's just weird, and so it's kind of cool to actually just have them officially. Not that it really matters because it's the same discs or whatever. I mean, 4 through 8 or whatever, but just kind of have it officially on Paramount Home Video is kind of cool. So thank you very much for watching this video, and as always, we'll catch you on the next one.